Hello, and welcome to The High Road. I'm your host, Noel C. Blundell, and sitting here beside me, the co-host, is Remington Liam Blundell. Hello, mate. How are you?
Hello. I'm well.
Good, mate. And how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah, a bit tired actually at the moment, but pretty good.
Pretty good. And we've got a pretty good, entertaining podcast for you today. We're going to talk about goal setting. Now, we want to keep it a little bit light today and just have a chat about that, and maybe not go down the data road so much today, but just talk from personal experience and seeing what the general conversations are out there by different people who have motivational strategies for how to set goals and move yourself forward. What has to truly happen for people to change their lives? Well, I think a lot of people they tend to procrastinate and stay in their comfort zones, although deep down they wish to make changes in their life to move forward and achieve some of those life goals that they've been thinking about for quite some time. How do you go about designing your life? Well, it's those wants and needs that have been in the back of your mind for quite some time. I've often found, Rem, that when I've been thinking about something for a while, it could be anything really. Could be giving up something, giving up sugar, or reducing your drinking or something like that. I found that the mere fact that I had been thinking about that actually started the wheels rolling towards achieving it. So when people come to me and say, "Oh, I want to give up chips," and I don't know if I can. I always tell them the mere fact that you're thinking about it and you've spoken about it and you've mentioned it, you are on your way. You've already started. You're already starting to change your behaviour, because all behaviours depend on a change of mindset.
Yeah, it was the very first thing I was going to say is mindset.
Mindset's the key.
Yep.
And you have to get your mind into a space where addressing issues that you want to achieve starts with a mindset, then it becomes reality, right?
Yep.
So even the mere fact that you're thinking about it, walking around thinking to myself, right, I don't want to eat chips, or whatever the case may be. It could be anything, right? I want to buy a car. I want to do a uni course. I want to fly to Europe. Whatever it is, although at that specific time when you're thinking about it, it sounds absolutely preposterous or unachievable, it doesn't matter. You're thinking about it. It will come to fruition. It really, really will. And that's the power, right, of positive thought. It will manifest. It certainly will.
You might have to start letting go of a few things as well, just by talking about it. You start to identify, just by speaking about it, you start to identify more and more things that contribute to the behaviour or the goal that you want to pursue.
Yeah, correct. And of course, it'll never happen in your time, because we want everything now.
Yep.
And if I can't have it now, I want it yesterday.
Yep.
Right? That's what we're like, because we're very impatient. It never happens in your time. But believe me, once you start thinking about it and start articulating it, it's funny, the universal move in mysterious ways to provide you with all the resources and contacts you need to achieve it. That just happens that's way. And that's how you create your life. And have a look what you want to happen in your life. How to do this? Usually by setting goals. I would suggest that you identify your most important goals. The ones that have been running around in your head for quite some time. What are they? Do you really know what they are? Do you know how to put words to them properly? The first thing I do is I do a life plan and go and write those goals down somewhere. Then you take them out of your head and you put them on paper into your exercise book, keep it beside your bed or on your bookshelf, but you've actually turned that into a tangible product, a tangible list that you can go back and look at when you get heavily distracted with life and you forget about your goals, as we all do, especially those long-term ones. You can go back and go over the list, and there it is again, fresh as the day you wrote it down.
Yeah, it should be SMART goals. Remember the acronym SMART?
Yes.
SMART is a specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound.
That's correct. And having those parameters and applying those parameters, again, puts you another step towards achieving your goal.
Yep.
Now, there's been a couple of other attributes and tricks and strategies that are floating around. We'll get to them eventually. When you're setting your goals, I would recommend that you set small hurdles to achieve. Break your goals down into small goals, little hurdles, and start taking those smaller steps.
Yep.
Many, many small steps will take you a long distance.
And be comfortable with long-term goals.
Yes, absolutely. But break those long-term goals down into smaller steps.
Yep.
We often tend to fixate on the long goal, on the end goal, and it's really good to have a mindset in your mind about how life would be once you attain that goal. But don't dwell on it. All the people of positive manifestation and visualizing, the power of visualization, they all state to put yourself in the mindset of feeling that you've already attained your goal. That is good. That's really good. But what I'm trying to get at is to focus on the smaller hurdles and the smaller steps. As you take a small step towards your goal, you'll come up against two things. You'll either come up with another tool to help you make the next step towards your major goal, or you'll come up with an obstacle.
Yep.
Often we come up with the obstacle and we say, no, we're not going any further. That's it. Oh, this will never happen. I'm kidding myself, and all the negative self-talk. I suggest to you take one step back from that barrier, reassess the situation, and take another step forward. Because what the barrier is providing to you is an indication that you might be heading down the wrong path to achieving a goal, and you need to readjust your plan and keep moving forward. Also, the second thing it is when you come up against the barrier, you know for certain that that's not the way to go.
Yeah.
Huh?
You kind of have to go through a bit of a reflective practice thing as well.
Correct.
When you're setting goals, you got to question yourself: am I doing this for me? Am I doing this for other people? Am I doing this to boost my ego? Am I doing this to look good? So you kind of have to question yourself why you're actually pursuing this goal.
That's a very good point, mate, because often we're trying to achieve goals just to please others.
Yep.
They're never going to work.
No.
Because they're not in the forefront of your mind.
And they're not fulfilling.
Correct. You just can't find the long-term enthusiasm to pursue and take the amount of steps needed to attain that goal. Yes, certainly, we can set goals and do things for other people, that are financial and short-term and shallow. We can achieve them quite easily, but big goals, big life-changing goals, and some of the goals that we set are significantly life-changing.
Yeah.
And I imagine, they're the goals that are worth pursuing.
Well, just imagine this is what I like to think. If you really want to reach this goal, really, picture yourself on your deathbed. How would you feel if you didn't even attempt or reach this goal?
There's a lot of people out there who advocate that you go away and take a moment and write yourself a eulogy. And write down everything that you would like to be known for in that eulogy. Then go through that eulogy and unpack that. And everything you've mentioned in it, make your life goals. Start to take baby steps towards achieving them. They do. They recommend that as a strategy to map your life out. And that, once you start that journey of mapping out your goals and start down the route of achieving those goals through small steps, that's when you're going to find inner satisfaction. That's when you're going to find a building of your self-esteem. That's when you're going to start to find your own deep inner self-worth. When you start going down that road, and small significant things from your environment aren't going to trouble you as much as they have in the past.
So you kind of start today's goal at the end of your life.
Well, you look at what you would like read out at the end of your life,
Yeah. So
and then you reverse engineer it.
it's kind of a weird way to do it. Yeah.
It is very
start
weird.
Today's goal at the end of your life.
Yes,
Yeah.
but there's a number of motivational speakers
Yes.
out there who advocate that, and I think it wouldn't be a bad strategy. I know it's a bit eerie to think about writing your own eulogy, but at the end of the day, if you want to achieve those lifelong goals, I think it's worthwhile putting them down on paper and start to make a move towards them.
Yeah, and aim for progress.
In small steps.
Yeah.
And the small steps can be like, what's a small step? I need to ring somebody to have a chat about how they did something. All right? Make a plan for it. When they'll be home, you'll be home, you've got the time. Ring them. Hello, how are you? Would you mind if I ask you a few questions about how did you achieve that goal? Again, pen and paper, as they unpack it, because you'll find a lot of people, most people would really be delighted to help you. Write it down. Write all that down. And then ask them how could you apply yourself and your behaviours to achieving that as well, and what did they do to achieve that goal, and how could you duplicate that, right? That's a small goal. And if you write all those things down in your book, hang up the phone, you'll find that small goal, that small attainment of that small step towards your major goal is going to lift your self-esteem and self-worth immensely.
Yep.
Not only that, it's going to provide you with a myriad, like a range of other steps to take you another step towards your goal. It works every time. And there's lots of people out there who are quite happy to help you attain your goals. They'd be delighted to see you attain your goals.
And build a damn schedule off it, you know? Build a damn schedule of what you want to reach and off what other people have said.
Yes.
Because you have to hyper-focus yourself and hyper-maintain yourself and, make milestones for daily tasks.
Yeah, you do. And as you pick up momentum, in the beginning you might not feel that you're focused on your goal. You're just starting to take tentative steps towards achieving it, or finding out if this is the goal for you. Because often we get halfway along the journey and find out that that's not what I really want. But on the way to finding that out, you find your true purpose and your true goals.
Yeah, everything's kind of a step forward.
Everything's a learning process to get you to where you've got to go and to find your true purpose.
Yes.
Right? And achieving them starts with the first step, right? As Confucius says, the old Chinese proverb, a journey around the world starts with the first step. And goal attainment is exactly the same. What's some of the goals you've planned out and achieved, mate?
Planned out this year, or just
in general, something pops in your head straight off the top?
Oh, well, the thesis was a huge goal. And it was like, I pictured myself, it was like this picture that I've always seen. It's like a miner. There's two miners. There's one on the top. He's still mining towards the minerals, the valuable minerals. And
so you're
on the
doing
bottom one,
a scenario of a couple of miners in a mine shaft.
Yeah, this is just like a visual cartoon picture.
Yep.
And it was like this miner on the top is still mining towards the valuable minerals, whether it's diamonds or not, and the one on the bottom is an inch away from the minerals but gives up and walks away.
Yeah, that's right.
And just stops. And so I kind of always pictured it like everything I do, everything I've read, every note I took, every meeting I had, every class I attended was one extra hit with the pickaxe towards the minerals or towards the goal. It was always a little bit of progress or one step around the world.
Yep.
So that was a huge thing for me, was the thesis. I always wanted to write a thesis.
Yep.
So that was a big goal that I've kind of set out for myself. This year I've set other goals, like our business and this podcast.
Yep.
We've been speaking about a podcast for how long now?
Quite some time.
It'd been... You've recorded podcasts already.
Yes.
And we've actually got this official one going, but that was also another goal that I've set. I just want to build this podcast, see where it takes us, pursue other things. Yep.
And setting goals and starting to take steps towards them, it comes, and if you're thinking about them, as I just said prior, if you're thinking about them, you're on your way.
Yep.
Yeah, we did. Remember the video vlogs we did all through university?
Yeah.
At the end of the semester, we
Yep.
sit down in front of the video and we actually do a range of questions and go through that.
Yep.
We should unpack that one day in an episode and just tell people how we did that. That's quite interesting now going over that record, isn't it?
Yes.
5-6 year record of video vlogs and what we studied for that semester and what we thought of the lecturers and what we thought of the classes and what we, how we felt we had progressed through the course.
Yeah, but this, like, us doing the podcast is already a goal that we've, well, not only set but also pursuing.
Yes, and I think we've achieved it because we've started it.
Yep.
And, and we have a message to take out there and to support, people in terms of their pursuits and inspire people to move forward. And we want to talk to young men about masculinity, appropriate masculinity in the 21st century. And we want to speak to old men about their roles in the 21st century. And that's what we want to do. That's the message we want to take out there.
Yeah.
We want to have an impact on health and well-being. That's why we're going to have discussions around mental health and physical fitness and things along those lines. And that's our purpose. And we're on our way, mate, because how many little baby steps did we take to get here?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah, and we had a clear direction.
Yes.
And when we have a clear direction, we know where to go and what to accomplish.
Yep.
And we're always working towards it. So, and without that clear direction, it's very easy to lose focus and be unfulfilled. So
correct.
We had direction.
But with that, when you get unfocused and you lose track of where you're headed, it's funnily enough, you're provided with a new path. You're provided with the answers that you're looking for. I remember going through, I went right through my undergraduate degree, finished that, didn't really know what I wanted to do. Actually, then I went into honours to do honours degree, and I didn't really know what to do then either. But in the middle of first semester, it dawned on me what I wanted to do. And we're sitting here doing that now.
Exactly. Yep.
Right? So we were pursuing the goal of education, which we did.
Yeah.
We took all the steps we needed to and faced the unknown and lent into our fear, because when you go off to pursue goals, there's always the fear of failure. There's always the fear of being laughed at. There's all those fears there. But if you lean into that fear and do as much as you possibly can to achieve the steps that you need to take on the way to attaining your major goal, it has to happen, doesn't it?
Yes.
And when you're taking courses over the course of 3, 4, and 5 years, that's a long way to be taking baby steps to attain a big goal.
Yeah, and I feel like, I guess people kind of, I've met some people that I've met struggle with setting long-term goals because they don't really enjoy the small step part of it. And they struggle to stick to long-term goals. It's never a long-term plan. It's always a month plan, 2-month plan, 3-month plan, that type of stuff. Anything above that, there's just, you know, I guess because maybe the further you set out the goal in terms of years or when you want to achieve it, the more anxious people feel.
Yeah.
And I want to do a goal right. It'll take me a year to reach it. Well, what's the first month going to look like?
Yeah.
It's going to look messy.
Yes.
You just don't know what you're doing.
That's right.
And the parameters of your goal is so wide and far spread in the first month out of the whole year. You're not really going to drill down on it until halfway through, 3/4 of the way through.
That's correct. And the finishing line is so far away.
Yes.
That's why when we got knocks, say we're doing the year from January to February. Let's use an academic year, right? We're starting in February, end of February. Off we go. You can't see the result that's going to transpire in your November.
Yep.
Right? You just have to take the baby steps on your way. It's like getting in your car and saying, right, I'm going to drive to Perth across the Nullarbor, and you set off at night time. You turn your headlights on and off you go out on the highway. Well, your headlights can only illuminate 4 or 5 metres of the road ahead of you, right? But you keep on forging forward because you know the end destination is your goal.
Yeah.
You can't see your goal, right? You can't. It's not even in your. It's nowhere near in your vision, right? But you set out only seeing those few meters ahead of you in the car, and if you keep on pushing forward, you will reach your destination. You have to.
Yeah, maybe that's why people struggle with setting long-term goals, because they're not comfortable with delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification is something we have to teach ourselves, yes.
Yeah, and everything's instant nowadays.
Correct.
Absolutely everything. You want food? Fast food.
Yep.
You want to talk to someone? Bring up a call. You don't have to write a letter,
Yep.
then send it and wait months, if that makes sense.
Yep. You want the best entertainment in hyper colour with the best audio? You pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Turn on your computer. Walk to your
TV.
lounge room.
Yep.
It's just instant. Everything's instant.
Yeah.
Well, that's not conducive with good skills in delayed gratification.
Yeah, and that's why people kind of struggle with goal setting and pursuing goals, I think, is a delayed gratification aspect of it. So
Yep.
I'm working today for an outcome in a few years that I know would work.
Yep.
And in my opinion, long-term goals is what you should really be focusing on.
Yes, well, it gives you purpose.
Yeah.
Really.
And, yeah,
and then
well,
on the way
right.
on the way to attaining purpose, right? You'll then get your life's purpose. That's how it works out. That's what we're here to contribute back to this life.
Yeah.
We're here to, and how do we contribute to life? How do we contribute to the world? We contribute by being the best person we can possibly be, to achieving our potential. In those little moments of creation that we create, those personal little creations we put out there, is what makes the world a colourful, wonderful place. And once you start doing that, once you start creating, that's when people become interested in you. That's where you build your self-esteem. You belong. This is how the whole cycle works. In attaining your goal, people will be looking at you, working towards attaining that goal, and then they will like to look at you as a mentor.
Yeah, people kind of don't fall in love with the journey; they just fall in love with the outcome.
Correct.
But the outcome isn't motivating enough.
Yep, and no, it's not. Especially if you get knocked on the way.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you face a circumstance, but like circumstances are always changing. So maybe being flexible and adapting to your environment is a crucial thing to goal setting. Become comfortable with it.
Yes, agreed. And remember, average people do amazing things, mate.
Yeah.
Right? On their way to attaining goals. They do amazing things on their way to to attaining the goal, right? They've taken all these steps to get there, and it's, they're amazing.
Yeah.
I
get astonished at just regular people that do astonishing things.
Yes. Yes, they do. And, when you're thinking about your goals, you think to yourself, what has to happen to me, right? What has to happen? If we're thinking about attaining goals, just think about this for a second. What would happen when you get 5 years down the track and you're still just thinking about
the goal?
Yeah. What has to happen to stop you walking around in circles for the next 5 years?
I think you'll
and actually
suffer.
Get you on the. Well, you do.
Yeah, you'd suffer every day.
You do. And when you realise the 5 years go by and it goes by like the snap of a fingers, and you haven't started, that's where it becomes a little bit tougher. And we've all suffered with that. We've all struggled with that. You know what I used to do once upon a time, mate?
No.
When January come around, I'd set myself a goal. Any goal. Because what happens, I quickly realised by the time I got into my late 20s that these years are flying past really quickly.
Yeah, I'm just noticing that now.
You're just starting to notice that now, are you?
Feels like I finished high school yesterday.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was 5 years ago.
It's funny that when you go to primary school, it seems like forever for a year to go by. When you're waiting for your birthday to come around, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? Then you get into your teens and you're waiting. It's forever for years to come around. Waiting for your birthday to arrive. Waiting for you to be old enough to, playing under 16s, or waiting for you to be old enough to get on the train to go to Melbourne on your own, or
Yeah,
you get what I mean.
And it's flying.
And then next minute's 18, and the next minute you're allowed to drive and things like that. Next minute you're 21, right? Next minute you're 25.
Must feel like you were just 21 yesterday, Dad.
Yes, it does. It all blends in together. Yes, it does. And the older you get, the faster it goes. My father's 86 years of age. He just turned 86 last February. Right?
Yep.
He says, it seems like every 5 minutes I'm eating breakfast. That's how fast he thinks it's going. Time's relative.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at, 5 years can go very quickly, and you can find yourself in same rut, the same place. That can be very frustrating and very off-putting.
And for a long time.
Yes, some people spin around in a circle and they're 45, 50 years of age, and they go, uh-oh, what happened? Right?
Yeah.
And I haven't achieved anything I want, And we need to start building a book. We need to start building our own story. We need to start creating who we are, and setting some of those goals and achieving them. And going the hard miles, doing the hard miles. Achieving big goals takes work.
Yeah. And takes a plan.
No one comes up, knocks on your door and says, "G'day, how you going? Here's a big goal for you. I just thought you'd like this."
Yeah.
Here you go. It doesn't work like that. Jobs don't come and knock on your door. Big goals don't knock on your door. Tickets to go around the world don't come and knock on your door.
Yeah, so it's for personal goals, for example. What are some tips would you have? Like, consider your passions, set goals you can control.
Correct. Look at others that you admire.
Yeah.
And what they have achieved, and would you like to have that in your makeup and in your personality and in your storyline? Look at the storyline. Look at your life storyline. How do you want that to look and read? Right? What are those attributes that you want to pick up? When you find someone you admire, you go, "Wow, how did you get like that? What have you done?" When you go and ring them and talk to them about it, they'll tell you what they've done and and how that's come about. Right?
And usually it's hard miles.
Yes. My wife said to me the other day, we were talking to somebody. Oh, that's right. And this lady had just gotten back from 6 months in Europe in a camper van on her own. She went right across Europe into Eastern Europe and back again, and had a great time. And my wife and I got in the car and left after the conversation. I had a lovely conversation with her. It was Monica. And she says, "You always know when people have travelled." I said, "Really?" She goes, Yeah, you do. You just know. Their stories and language and their ability to talk is richer, and I thought to myself,
that's
you're
damn
right. Yes,
yeah, that's
you're
damn
right.
Yep.
People who've travelled extensively have a whole range. They're just different.
Way more colourful.
Yes, and they're a little bit more relaxed.
Yep.
They can problem solve better. They're very open to conversations and open to new experiences.
Their personality is a bit more bright.
Correct. They're resourceful.
Yep.
So, again, if there are attributes you really admire in that person and you'd potentially like to build those into your personality, into your story, ring that person and ask them what they've been doing. And you might find a big goal in their story is what you want to make in your story.
Yeah, I advocate for people to get overseas.
Is that relevant?
Getting overseas?
No, I mean talking to people about their experience and
of
what's
course.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
I think
thinking about your future and admiring people that you like is very important to pursuing your goals.
Correct.
You have to create a big picture for yourself.
Correct. And don't fill up with anxiety and not want to talk to that person because you feel stupid. Because that person that you admire you'll find 99 times out of 100, 99.999 times out of 100, are quite happy to sit down with you to help you out on your journey, and to convey the benefits to doing that and the little steps needed to be taken to achieve that.
Yeah, and when you have a goal, you kind of break it down into very specific parts.
Yes.
For example, right, if you're visiting a family member that's been in hospital, right, and it's very stressful,
yep,
and you're very upset, you're not even thinking about tomorrow, you're not thinking about the day after, you're not thinking about a week, and if it gets really difficult, you can't think about the next 5 minutes. And so if you're trying to reach a goal, you don't know what to do, you plan it down to what are you going to do today, what are you going to do in this hour, and sometimes thinking about it on such a large scale is daunting and almost seems impossible.
Yeah.
So, plan it down very, very specific
yes.
is important.
And look, ultimately, at the end of the day, this might sound, ridiculous or too big or things along those lines. But just sitting down and book, or going down to the newsagents, buying a specific exercise book and buy yourself a special biro, going home and going through that process of actually writing your goals down in a book over for what you want for the next 5 years. Write that down in the book. Then the next section of the book, write in the book what would be the worst case scenario if you didn't do any of them. Okay? When you write through that, write that all down, go and read through it, and at the end of the day, you will feel fantastic. You'll feel like you've made so many major steps towards your goal. It's unbelievable.
Yep.
And then there's a whole range of processes after that we can unpack in future episodes, and Amen are going to be looking at doing courses in relation to how to unpack your life into a life plan and stick to it. That's what we're going to be looking at a bit into the future.
Definitely.
But that whole process of sitting down and writing it out is just, when you close the book, put it beside your bed, and you go to bed that night or go about your business, you feel regenerated. You feel alive because you feel like you are planned.
Yep.
And with that, it's fantastic. Oh, geez, we got a very busy door here, haven't we?
Yeah.
It seems to open up on its own. Was that a ghost?
No,
it wasn't.
Just a cleaner coming around. That's all right.
That's all right. Thank goodness for cleaners. Shout out to the cleaners there. Yeah, so that's some of the tips that are going forward with goal setting, and you'll find that our goals can be huge. Buy a house.
Yep.
Go around the world, or our goals can be small. Fix your budget up.
Yeah.
Your house budget. Save up for a holiday. What would be a small goal, mate?
Oh, trying to walk every day. Yeah.
Trying to walk every day.
Yeah, and then you just plan in 15 minutes of your day.
Yeah.
That's a very small goal to start with.
Correct. And that's right. We've been talking about big goals. We need to talk about small goals too. Small goals such as, if you've had an injury and you're struggling to get mobile again, small goals might be getting out of bed.
Yeah.
A small goal might be walking up and down the driveway to get your fitness back in order. A small goal might be losing a few kilos, where you want to reduce your meal size. They're also goals, exactly the same. Break them down into smaller steps and start taking smaller steps.
There's nothing wrong with setting smaller goals.
No,
either.
there is nothing wrong with setting smaller goals. That's how you get the major ones.
Yeah. And
for some people out there, major goals are we might think they're small goals, but to them, those people out there, they are major goals. So approach them all in the very same way. And once you start achieving those goals, I think the benefits to your self-esteem and the benefits to your self-worth are indescribable. Is there anything else you want to say about goals there, mate?
No, I think that's pretty much incorporate everything, really. There's just some crucial steps is like get a schedule, get an action plan, celebrate the smaller steps.
Yep.
And then you'll reach your goal.
Correct. A lot of people out there don't use their talent or potential.
No, they don't.
And everyone has it. And I think once we start attaining those goals, big goals, through small steps and small goal attainment, we actually start moving towards our potential. We have the ability to do absolutely anything, really, within reason. Of course, you can't jump off the building and fly.
Yeah.
Right? I'm talking in realistic terms
Has to be
here.
realistic, according to SMART goals, realistic goals.
Correct, realistic goals. And you set them in realistic timeframes for yourself. But pretty much if a human being has done something before you, you can pretty much achieve that as well.
I just want to say something. Setting deadlines for your milestones is very, very important.
Yes, that's a very good point. Deadlines are very handy, aren't they?
Yes.
We had loads of deadlines in university.
Because then you know in your brain, you got to get it going.
Yep, you do, and also that also keeps you motivated. That's good for motivational purposes.
Yep.
Yeah,
Keeping the deadline present in your brain will keep yourself going forward.
Yep. And just remember, sometimes when you're on your goal and you're on your way, there will be some people out there who don't encourage you to go down your role. Go down the road of your goal. And those people, they're a little bit frightened because when you tell them what your goal is, they look at it from their lens and feel that they would not be able to achieve that goal.
Maybe makes them a bit insecure as well.
Well, yeah, as well. So then they start to discourage you to achieve your goal, start knocking you, things like that, things along those lines. I just want to say those people aren't really your people. You really need to keep away from them and stay focused on your goal. Because once you achieve that goal, that person's then going to look up to you.
Yeah.
Right? And some of them in disbelief. You know, I know I've achieved a number of goals that people just shake their heads and they can't believe that you did that, you know. But, you know, I'm quite happy that I attained the goal and that made up the richness of who I am. So just keep that in mind too. With that, in saying that, search around for people who are going to support you on your journey to your goal, who are going to pat you on the back, who are going to encourage you, people who have done that before you, and you'll quickly start to achieve some major milestones. All right, mate. We might finish that one up there.
Yeah, that was really good.
All right. Thank you very much. You can find us on Facebook under Noel C. Blundell or on aimed motivational empowerment network.com.au. We'd love to hear from you about how you set your goals. Thank you very much for listening. We'll be back soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.